Hello, everybody. What's up? Let's see. What's we got in the building? Today is a little bit of a hard one to look at. This happened 3 days ago, if my calculations are correct. So yeah, I just wanted to talk about this because I feel like it is something huge that's going to go down in our history, and I just feel like it's the right thing to do, being that I have family that were once in this situation, the first generation born in the U.S. in my family on my mother's side. So this is only, right to speak about. We were told it was 50 people that were that had passed away, but it was actually a lot more than that. So we're going to take a look at that. So we have Miss Veronica in the chat. Haven't seen you in a while. Jeanette. We have Christina in the hospital. So sending my prayers to you. I'm unsure of the situation. Oscar in the chat. Got Snickers in the chat. Gotta pop that down, Baby's wife. Hello. We got Miranda also in the chat. Didn't really do this too quickly, so I am gonna go through that. I did want to start off with a video. Jay Savage, I see down there. On this screen, I can't see the last 2 comments. I sound a little muffled. I wonder if it's my fan. Can you hear my fan in the background? Let me check my audio real quick. Let's see. Okay. I don't know if that sounds a little better. You guys can let me know. I don't have it on the automatic change. Audio is still weird. I'm going to pop down and I'm going to pop back up. Let me know if you can hear my fan in the background. Let me see. Oops. Yeah, that's what I want to do. Give me a second. Okay, so let me know if this works out a little bit better. I'm not sure. Can you guys hear me better? Let me know. Oh, you can hear me, Claire? Okay, cool. Hey, what's up, A-boy? All right, so I'm going to start off. It took my video down when I popped down and popped back up. So I'm going to start off with the video that I said just to give you guys a little bit of understanding of what I'm talking about for those of you guys that do not know about so many lives that were lost trying to find, happiness here in the United States and what people will really do just to get here. Okay, so
the death toll is growing as more migrants found in the back of a truck yesterday have died, and several others, including children, are in the hospital. The scene in southwest San Antonio is still active after the discovery at about 6 o'clock last night. Our Ken Molestina joins us live from there with what he's learned in the last few minutes. Ken.
Well, Karen, the Department of Homeland Security's HSI, Homeland Security Investigation, is now the lead agency looking into all of this. We got late word last night that this is, in fact, now a federal investigation that we're talking about here. This morning, we can confirm to you that the death toll has now risen to 50. Very grim details that are now coming out from out here in San Antonio. But again, yesterday, the death toll was sitting at 46. Now it's gone up a little bit more to 50. Overnight, again, death toll at 46. The last couple of hours is when it climbed up to 50. We know that more than a dozen were also found alive, including some children. They were rushed to nearby hospitals. The increased death toll is now a result of some of those migrants who died while at the hospital. Officials say they were suffering from extreme dehydration. Some folks had heat strokes and, of course, exposure to the brutally hot elements without any kind of ventilation or water. The police chief last night saying the bodies were found stacked on top of one another. This morning, search crews have spent the last couple of hours out here using canines to search the nearby brush area just in case they come across any more bodies. San Antonio's mayor recently speaking about this gruesome discovery and said, while the details are heartbreaking, unfortunately, cases like these are not uncommon around this part of town.
This area has been known to see a lot of trafficking and smuggling cases over the years. San Antonio is a gateway to the Americas. Yep. And so from time to time, we have seen these incidents. Our response, obviously, is a compassionate one.
So again, still a bit of a scene over my shoulder out here. I can tell you again from speaking to an official with HSI, they're not ready to confirm what countries these migrants came from or where they were headed. However, other organizations that are involved in this investigation and in this
response are saying that this was a mixture, Karen, of migrants from different Central American countries, namely Mexico, Honduras, and also some Guatemalans that were inside of that truck. But again, HSI is not confirming that. That information coming from other agencies, other organizations that are also responding to this this crisis out here in San Antonio. Police officials say 3 people, Karen, have now been arrested as a result of this. Not sure what role they played in it, but again, 3 people in custody.
Yeah, so much more to learn from this, Ken. And as you have been out there this morning, you mentioned seeing additional search efforts going on in the woods and fields. What can you tell us about that?
So we have an understanding right now that what is mostly taking place behind over my shoulder is sort of a search effort where crews are using canine units. We've seen 2 different crews come onto the scene with canines, and what they're doing is they're searching the brush areas off to the sides of this very narrow road, just in case they come across any other bodies that might be in the brush areas. Of course, some folks were able to get out of that truck. We understand that the truck was left abandoned out here, and it was discovered by an employee of a nearby truck yard who heard some faint screaming. So there is a thought, at the very least, that perhaps they need to check the brush just in case they come across any other bodies. So that's been happening now for the past couple of hours, and we anticipate, Karen, that will continue for the next couple of hours until they're given the all clear.
Simply heartbreaking. And we know you're going to continue to work this story for us throughout the afternoon, and we'll be speaking with you in our early newscast this afternoon. Thanks so much.
So guys, at first when I was hearing that, because when it first came on, it just said the truck was left partially open. And, when they got up to it and they opened it up, they seen that it was so many bodies in there. And so I was like, why are they looking for people on the outside? I guess when some of them escaped, that's the first thing they wanted to do. And guess who they found when they were out there looking for other people? The guys on the security cameras, when they're passing through different tolls that were driving the trucks, tried to act like they were some of the survivors, and till they found out, like, no, you don't have any of what they got going on. We have you on camera. So they found out that they were not any of the survivors and were a part of driving them over there. The guy claims he did not know that the AC unit was not working. That was his excuse. So now we know we're well beyond the 50. First it was 48, and then that were found dead, and then 5 went to the hospital, and they later, you know, succumbed to their it's just like the children, you know, they're put in this situation. There was even a little 13-year-old boy. You're gonna hear his dad speak. I believe I have it in here, and they paid $6,000 for their son to get into this death trap. To me, how didn't he know? So you're telling me the whole entire drive he never stopped to check and see, hey, are you guys cool? I'm sure since they're all in there stacked up, people are falling, you know, was there water in there? Like, what really was going on? But there's a lot more for us to find out, more than even I have gathered, because they're still going through and finding out the information. So I'm going to go into the chat, but I'm going to pop this up really quickly. So you can hear one of the people standing by what their observation was of this. Pop it up. Here we go.
Much, Ken.
She takes a picture, and in that picture is this ET. He puts the camera over in that direction.
Okay, here we go.
People in the community gathered near the scene last night once they learned about what happened. Arna Khan spoke with one man who lives nearby and is also a driver of an 18-wheeler. He says he can't believe that there were any survivors at all because of the intense heat and no water. He described what the people inside of that truck may have faced.
I just can't understand how these people accept just to make some money, except to put somebody.
Mm-hmm.
I never will do that, not even with air conditioning inside, you know. But trailers like that without AC, it's gonna get at least if it's 100 outside, it goes for about 125 degrees inside without water, without air, without nothing. It's ridiculous. I just can't understand how drivers can do that.
It is the equivalent of leaving someone inside of a hot car times whatever number you want to put after it. This isn't the first time something like this has happened in San Antonio.
And you have to think about it. This is just all metal. When you're in a car, it's at least some padding. So could you imagine their skin is like burning? Oh my God, I can't.
In 2017, 10 people died after being locked in a semi-truck trailer. I remember reading court documents that said the people took turns breathing out of a hole in the side of that trailer. The discovery was made at a Walmart parking lot on the south side when an employee was approached by one of the migrants who was asking for water. The driver of the semi was arrested and convicted. His name is James Matthew Bradley. He is in prison serving a life sentence without parole.
Guys, this is just crazy. I understand, because, you know, my family made the trip to the States, and I'm happy when I look at, you know, their living. But I know if I was living there, I would grow up the same way, and it'd be the norm to me. But some of my cousins' stories and how they had to get here, I was like, whoa, in a bag? Like, they're looking for a better life. And so these weren't only people from Mexico, like you would just think. So here I'm at in San Diego. We're right here at the border, Texas, San Antonio. They're not too far. So they're thinking this is just our journey across. I'm still looking into the main driver of this car and like, what was his ties? What was he really into? This guy, you guys will see. So they have a memorial that they're putting together and things like that. So I'm going to show you that we're now over 60 people. So from 48 to 50 to now 60, well, to 60 to 63, I believe it is. So, and there is still more to come. I'm curious to just how many people total were in this whole caravan, because what it sounds like to me is there were multiple trucks, but this particular truck didn't have AC. I wonder if they knew before and just did not care and was like, well, we're going to make the trip anyway. Or were the people getting in like knowing they weren't going to have it and was like, we're willing to try? I guess that's something we'll just have to find out later. I will drop the link in the chat. I'm going to put the memorial up so you guys can have a conversation about this. How do you think this is avoidable? Like, what is the better way to go about these situations? Because everybody can't live here, you know? How do we make other living situations better? I don't know. Let's see. So this is the memorial.
The disturbing discovery of dozens of bodies found in the back of a semi-truck in San Antonio. The number of dead now up to 51. Evening to you, Mia Grady here with you at 6 as we continue to learn more about this tragedy. We have live team coverage.
And I'm Len Cannon. We are covering the very latest on this investigation
including dispatch calls breaking down what first responders found when they initially got to the scene.
Also, where did the truck come from? A trucking company claims the big rig's ID number was stolen. There is so much to unpack with the widening investigation. Leading off our team coverage right now, Jason Miles in San Antonio with the latest for us. Jason.
Hey there, you mentioned the death toll rising. Bexar County officials announcing today that it reached 51 people. Meantime, here on the scene where the trailer was found, right over there in that spot, people are memorializing the victims. Crosses hammered into the ground along a desolate stretch of road in southwest San Antonio now mark the exact spot where a sweltering semi-trailer filled with dead bodies was found.
It's hard knowing, or really not knowing how much these people suffered.
Nearby residents Angelita Olvera and Deborah Ponce say it speaks to the desperation among so many to make it to America by any means necessary.
We have to have a safe way for people to enter and to process people. And tragedies like this will stop.
You know, when you get in your car and it's hot, can you imagine?
See, that's my thing. Everyone cannot live in America. How can we make it so, can we make it so that any and everybody that wants to come here just has a process to go through and just comes? How would that work? Where would, everyone live? It's already in a lot of different cities and states that are overcrowded. So I'm going to drop the link in the chat because I don't understand how we fix a situation like this.
In an 18-wheeler with no air condition, no vent, nothing whatsoever.
This tragedy started unfolding when officials say a worker heard cries coming from the partially open trailer, outside of which a dead body was found, along with dozens more inside.
No signs of water in the vehicle. It was a refrigerated tractor trailer, but there was no visible working AC unit on that rig.
President Joe Biden called the incident horrifying and heartbreaking today, blaming smugglers or human traffickers who have no regard for the lives they exploit to make a profit.
Estamos apoyando.
Meantime, Mexico's president said his government would also be investigating what were mostly Mexican casualties, adding his condolences to those already being expressed. And on this side of the border, the Department of Homeland Security in charge of this investigation. Right now, we know at least 3 people are in custody, possibly related to this smuggling operation. Reporting live from San Antonio, Jason Miles, KHOU 11 News. Mia, interested?
So yeah, I just wanted you guys to see that, and I put the link in the chat so anyone can pop up. It's open panel on this topic. Because after this, we're going to watch, there's like a 10-minute video to describe what they know in, 24 hours later what they found out from this first video that I showed you guys when they said it was 50 people. And then after this, we're going to look at the guy that was the driver, supposedly the driver of this truck, allegedly, let me say. And then we can have some discussion and we'll wrap it up. So let me see what you guys are saying. This is what I was going to read. Oscar the Wise Man says, I don't think it's other countries. Other countries is the U.S. responsibility. I think that they should focus on wanting their country's governments to do better and govern them better. True. I don't feel it should be the U.S.'s responsibility to babysit other grown countries who have international countries. Yeah, but I do understand that they're trying to come here to have a better life. You know, how would you feel? Hey, John, it says device not connected. So as soon as you connect, I'll pop you up. You know, I can't be like that because literally my whole family that I'm around aren't from here. They've either have like green cards, came over here randomly, or got their citizenship. So I can't say, if it wasn't for that, I wouldn't be in the States. And I definitely wouldn't want to be where they were. Not saying it like that. It just looks hard. It just looks hard. So I can understand why they're trying to look for better places. But I do feel like there are other countries that, you know, we can kind of, I don't know. I really don't know how to fix something this complex. I don't. Hey, John, I see you were trying to pop up. They started them out countries with lockdowns and mandates. So oh, what, John? Pop up here. You think this is all like a setup type thing? What are you saying? Let's see, Oscar. I don't think there's anyone can do. Countries can fix their international problems. A consignment package. Okay. So like smaller countries, do you think that they should, are you saying you think that they should try to like get themselves together, you know, ask for the help and try to get their country running in a better, smooth way so it's not people running away from the country? Hey, John, how are you?
Can you hear me now?
I could hear you.
Yeah, that's a very touchy situation though, but there's a lot more to the story. Like at the end of the story, when they're talking about Biden said he blames the smugglers, he was correct on that because what they do in Mexico is they'll put a bunch of people in the truck, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they'll take their cell phones and they'll call their family. You better pay me $10,000 or this person's going to die. They've been doing this for years and years and years.
So why is that why we're gonna see in here? Is that why this man says, you know, my son wanted a better life and whatever he says, but he was like, no, he was determined to go. He said we paid $6,000 for him to go.
Yeah.
So wait, they
asked
some money and still
they'll demand money later, more money. Not only that, you got a bunch of coyotes. I said they'll demand money up front, then they'll demand more money later. Sometimes they'll give them like half payment, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Or sometimes these coyotes, they'll just take the money from Mexico or whatever, or they'll just walk them across the border or whatever. Because we got all these open spaces on our border. Another thing about illegal immigrants people need to understand is that a lot of these people, like Biden's been releasing a lot of these people into the country. A lot of these people are convicted pedos, rapists, murderers, and everything else. You know what I mean? And we have a process in this country where if you come here, you know, you got to fill out, you know, you got to go through the background check and everything else. Because everybody remembers 9/11. And the laws became more strict over that because of that, though, you know. But they're foregoing the whole background check process. They're knowing that these people have criminal records and everything else, and they're still releasing them. And you'll hear many times that these people, like I remember a few times last year, even this year, you hear about them R-wording old ladies, assaulting, everything else, deleting kids, you name it. Though they're not sending the best people over here. Now,
So they're not even checking these people. Because I remember they said, do you remember? Because you're in Southern California. Do you remember when they were like, they were sending people back? They were sending the adults back, but letting the kids stay. Do you remember when they were doing that?
Yeah, they were doing that for a while. Not only that, but they would have like a kid, right? They'll have the kid, the same kid will be walking across the border so many times just to get over here, just for the adult to get over here.
Because eventually, can't the adult come over? Like, it was some weird phase for a while.
Yeah, you know how they call them anchor babies and stuff, though? You have a baby over here, that was another thing, too.
Yeah.
We got so many different, stuff like that's wrong with the situation, though. People don't get, though. If you let all these people in this country, you're giving them free money. We're $33 trillion in debt. Then you look at inflation. Like, people don't see the bigger picture. Like, want to know part of the reason other than like Ukraine and food processing plants burning down why food prices are so high? Well, there you go.
Gosh.
Put it this way, a lot of people come here and they're living better than most Americans. Like when they come across the border, sometimes they're given a yellow envelope with money, or they're given a card with money on it. A lot of them are given cell phones too. Where do you think that money comes from? Our taxpaying dollars.
Right. I'm here. I'm gonna take these crickets out of here because they are going ham. I just fed Lucas and he didn't get them all. And so, can you guys hear them? Are they really loud? Because if they're not, I'll leave them. But if they're loud, I'm gonna put them in another room for a while. Could you hear them?
No, I can't even hear them.
Give it a second. They stopped for a second since they see me get up, but you'll hear them. Yeah, and I think we see it a lot because we're right here. You know, I've been driving towards like San Isidro area, and I seen a lady. It was dark, so you can tell it was like a lady with a baby, but you couldn't tell who all she was with because it looked like they were running like towards, Cali. So they were going like north. And they were on the freeway, and you know how I've always seen the signs where you see like the little running across baby, the mom and the children,
Yeah.
And I was like, who's really gonna run across the free? But we seen it, and I was like, oh my god.
I was driving to Vegas once. You never know. I was driving to Vegas once, and there was there's some white girls running across the street, ended up getting hit by a car. Luckily they were okay though. The funny thing about that, the homie tried to get one of their numbers. That was the funny part about it, though.
So your guys stopped.
Running across a 15.
Wow. The largest number of illegal immigrants are not coming across the southern border.
They also got to look at it like this. You know how like
Yes. People do come here on their visas and then just stay until they get caught. That is
they tell them to go to court. Oh, come back for court, and most of them don't show up.
I don't understand. So people that come on visas, right? It's what, like 6 months? So you can just literally come here for 6 months and just literally take a plane home and then come right back and then just do another 6 months.
Yeah, apply for another visa again.
That's just like I live there, but I can take a trip home once a year.
Pretty much it. Yeah. But a lot of people, like, especially from India, a lot of people come here to work. But another reason why people are coming here, you got to think about back in 2019 when the plague from China came. A lot of these people, like, their economy, like in the third world, right? A lot of food is shipped from the first world, and they weren't getting them food. They weren't getting the products because everything was locked down. So the people were starving. They're starving in their country, so they started flooding our borders. And if you pay attention, like if you look at a lot of people coming across the border, these are well-dressed people. Some of them already have money. A lot of them are middle-class people because the middle class has been wiped out in these countries. It's all in the agenda. It's all by design.
Because I'm like, where are they coming up with these large amounts of money? So they gotta have some type of money.
It's part of our plan. They're giving the money from the global elites. They did the same thing in the UK. They did the same thing in Europe back when around the time Obama was president. A lot of it's funded by George Soros. Like what they did years ago in Europe, like France. There's areas in France you can't even recognize no more. looks like a third world nation now because
Wow.
migrants came in and tore it up. But they've been doing this for, they're doing in Europe, they're doing here. Like a lot of things that happen overseas, they'll test it over there before they roll it out everywhere else. Like after they perfected it, because we're supposed to be the most freest country on the planet, it'll be harder to roll out something out here.
Yikes, man. This is deep because I'm thinking about it and I'm like, yeah, to just drop $6,000 on your kid coming. And the adults wasn't coming, it was the kid. But they said he was demanding to go. But now he's no longer here. So were you guys just sending him over here to then be able to come as well? What was the ultimate plan? Like, I don't know that part. I was gonna play the 10-minute video, but I think we all understand what's going on in this situation. I don't know if we really should have to play the 10-minute. I might do it at the end, but I do want us to take a look at the suspect. So I'm going to take this video down and put that one up. Those are shorter videos. Take a look at the suspect. Wait, we got feedback. Put that one up. Sorry, I had to do that, John. We got feedback. So you can just go ahead and unmute yourself once you're done. Okay, so this is the one I need.
Is that better now?
Yes.
All right, my bad. I had another window open.
It's okay. So let me pop this
New tonight.
Real quick. I had to switch the video. So this is what they know, and then I'll play the updated one. So these are like both 2 minutes each. Let's see. Let's make it big first.
4 people are now charged in connection to the deadly tragedy involving a semi-trailer in southwest San Antonio. Thank you for joining us. I'm Isis Romero. 2 more people found in that sweltering 18-wheeler have passed away. The death toll is now 53. 11 survivors are still in the hospital. Tonight, we have team coverage. Henry Ramos explains the work to identify the dead to bring closure to their families. But we begin with Alicia Neaves and the 4 arrests in this case. Alicia?
Isis, the 4th arrest was made today. It's the alleged driver of the 18-wheeler. Federal authorities say police found him hiding in a bush, pretending to be one of the injured migrants.
Wow.
45-year-old Homero Zamorano faces life in prison or the death penalty if convicted for his alleged role in the deadliest migrant smuggling case in American history. U.S. Department of Justice officials say the Brownsville native was hiding in a bush when police found him. Authorities say he was seen here wearing the same clothes, driving the tractor trailer through border checkpoints Monday.
El chofer se hace pasar por migrante regular.
Today, Mexican officials said Zamorano initially told authorities he was one of the injured migrants, so he could avoid being detained.
Estuvo estacionado.
Francisco Garduño Yañez, commissioner of the National Migration Institute, said the truck cloned the license plate and business logo of a legitimate company based out of Alamo, Texas. The feds say a search warrant on Zamorano's phone led police to another suspect, 28-year-old Christian Martinez.
See, so if they went through all of this to modify this truck to look like businesses already there, this looks like a bigger plan, you know? Like what were they gonna do once they got the 50 people over here?
And you know what else?
Let them out and run, or what?
You know what else? They're supposed to check that truck at the border, inside.
Right. I'm confused.
You know what I mean? See, that's what happens at the border. You could blame the border patrol too, because we got a lot of corrupt officials on the border patrol. You know what I mean?
And to let that many, because from my understanding, I could be wrong. Anyone, please correct me. There were other trucks that came over as well, and that's how there's other suspects, because they were trying to meet up with each other. Right.
This is how deep the smuggling ring goes, right? You got the FBI working with cartels. You got Catholic charities caught on the border working with cartels. People here. This is how deep it's an agenda. You know, a lot of people getting a lot of money for this too.
Has to be. I mean, I'm sure it's not only going to these 3 people. This is a bigger operation.
Oh yeah.
Wow. Let's continue.
Martinez, arrested yesterday in Palestine, Texas. Authorities say Martinez was talking to Zamorano about the smuggling plan. If convicted, Martinez would also face life in prison or the death penalty. In this map created by Mexican authorities, it shows the truck's potential route.
Okay, so let's take a look. So we're going from here. So they were, they were quite, they're doing a quite long trip.
That is a long trip. Dang.
You know what I'm saying? And then you didn't stop in none of these places to check in. You guys got water? You guys good? Nothing?
So what happened in California, right?
They knew that truck was not like refrigerated. It wasn't cool because they would have been cooled down when they got in there.
It happened in California, right?
What?
The truck, right? Where they found it?
No. San Antonio, Texas.
San Antonio, Texas. Okay. Because I hear about this. This ain't the first truck I've heard about though. This is
there's been a lot.
This happens all the time.
The thing is, the amount of people is why they're making it so big. It's a lot of people. And if the death toll went from 50, 51, 53, all the way up to, correct me, because I said 63, it's 67 people total so far.
That's a lot of people.
So how many people total
whether they were legal or not, though, they're still human beings. They're still souls. People should still have compassion for them, Whether they came here illegally or not, it don't matter. They're still human beings. They didn't deserve They didn't deserve to die like that.
No one deserves to die like that. That's crazy. Let's continue. I just wanted to see how many miles. That's 2 hours and 30 minutes. It says. Sorry, I don't have my glasses.
That's a
2
lot.
2 hours and 30 minutes. And then who knows where they came from in Mexico? We don't know how long they were in there. We're only seeing how they trekked up from our side. That's not right. These men know they're not right. They need to get whatever they get. That's a lot of lives. And you didn't only affect them. Look how many families are coming. Oh my God. This is not right.
And it's going to get worse because it's going to get worse because the Supreme Court ruled that because Trump had it, so in Mexico, right? You're coming across here, you got to stay in Mexico. You could be detained there. But now they don't got that anymore. The Supreme Court ruled against it. So now you're going to see a lot more of these stories. Because now people got more of the incentives to actually come here.
Right. Because Trump was sending them back.
Yeah. And that's the thing. It's not fair to other countries. Like, if you want to come here, cool. But why should one country or a certain select amount of countries get special treatment? What about everybody else that wants to come here, that wants to change?
Right.
Or what about people that are actually escaping, like actually real oppression?
Right. So is it that the Southern, countries they can't just follow the same thing other people do and get a visa, or what?
What do you mean?
Like, how come, how other countries just get a visa, come over here for this fan. Come over here for 6 months, can go back. Can they not do that? Or what?
I mean, you can, but the way this country's laws work is that you can only have a certain amount of people actually admitted into this country at a time, but they're not following those rules.
No, they're not. They're not. They don't even know how many people are still here from when they, they're not tracking any of that. They're not paying attention closely because it's so much to deal with. Like, who's really paying attention to these numbers? How many people that are not actual citizens of the United States are in this country now, whether it's legally or illegally? Of course, illegally, who knows? But even legally, do they really have concrete numbers on, okay, we have this many from this country, this many from this country, this many from this country, and know their expiration dates and know, if this person gets pulled over, hey, your visa, you got to go back, come, are we following the rules or not? It doesn't make sense. They want to crack down on certain people and not the other. Got to be fair all the way around.
Yeah, that is true.
I'm going to drop the link again as we continue the rest of this video, you guys. Anybody's welcome to pop up. Anybody's opinion is welcome, whether you agree or disagree with what we're saying. It's all about having this conversation and being able to look at things from other people's perspective. And, that kind of gives you other ideas. It's kind of like, aha, or no, that doesn't sound right. But yeah, you get it. So let's finish this up and then we'll watch the other 2-minute video.
If the vehicle crossed the border with the immigrants, Mexican officials believe it could have been stationed in the lower Rio Grande Valley and took off from there. The alleged driver is due in court tomorrow here in San Antonio. We learned he has a lengthy criminal history, including injury to the elderly and multiple drug offenses. 2 more suspects, Juan Claudio de Luna Mendez and Juan Francisco de Luna Bilbao, were arrested on Monday. Court documents show the registration for the tractor trailer traced back to a home where both of these men were seen leaving. Both face weapons charges and could face up to 10 years in prison. Isis? Thank you, Alicia.
Didn't you just say that? Didn't you just say that they come here illegally and some have a bad record and they did something, they do things to the elderly, the R word,
Yeah.
and this guy has it on his record.
Surprise, surprise, huh? Like, a surprise, huh? What a coincidence.
Right. Like some of these things I have watched, but some I'll get and watch with you guys. So I don't get to see it until I'm seeing it with you. And then this pops up in here. Wow. Extensive criminal record. So this has been a plan. These 2 men were planning this. Wow.
Somebody made a comment in the chat, said, like it or not, it's the law. The USA needs an immigration policy. We do have immigration laws and policy. The thing is about our country's laws is under the Constitution, only the president has the right to enforce immigration. That's why when Trump was doing everything he was doing, I was like, oh, what can I say? It's the law. It's the law of the land. But now when Biden does it, when he's not actually enforcing it, that's when we get the problem. It's his job to enforce it, but he's not enforcing it. That's why things are so messed up, because it's the president. Congress writes the laws, and the president enforces the immigration laws.
Wow. Hey, Jeanette.
Hi, how are you?
How you doing, Jeanette?
Good. So I was looking at the U.S. Citizen and Immigration Services. They have a website. So people can apply for asylum if they are running from somebody or something. Like they can come here for safety.
Yeah. Yeah. And in a lot of countries, they do need that. I mean, they're being abused.
Yeah,
so, yeah, I mean, I do see how it's needed, but how can we? It's not like we can fix everything, I know we try to feel like we can. Hey, Stilo. But we can't. Hey, Sierra, how are you?
I know. We really can't fix all the world's problems. We can't even fix our own problems.
Right. And then we always want to go butt into other stuff. And it's like, we cannot do that. But this, I want there to be a better system for it, because I can only imagine.
We do have a system. The thing is, we got a president and people in office that refuse to follow it. That's the thing, though.
I think the only way to stop it is to prosecute the people at the, that are doing it.
Or build up their own countries. Give them, if their own countries were built up, instead of having like the global elites loot and plunder their countries, build their countries up, send out money to them,
That's what I'm saying. Ask for help.
Because they would rather be in their own countries. They got their own heritage, their own lifestyle, and everything else. They'd rather be in their own countries. But because the first world has looted and plundered the country for so long, there's not really much there, especially with the C word, which is pretty much devastated the countries. There's pretty much like no middle class in a lot of these countries. And it's about to get worse with the war in Ukraine, because they got the fertilizer and the wheat that's no longer going to the third world countries to feed them. And that's where they got a lot of the wheat and grain from.
Should help them build up. And I went to Mexico when I was like 16 to help them build a school. So they have programs where people do go over and do things like that.
Yeah, but a lot of these organizations, like, they'll go over there and instead of fixing up the countries, whatever, or how about this? You got organizations that go to these countries and they tell you to come here, Oh, Biden said it's okay. Come on. If you notice, you'll see a lot of these people wearing Biden t-shirts. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Biden got more support amongst illegals than he does actual Americans. That's how trash he is.
Yeah. Hey, behind the bar.
What up,
Hey, how y'all doing? How y'all doing?
Good.
Salute.
How do you feel about this topic?
It's an interesting topic because I'm a truck driver. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, yo, that's
Boom.
crazy. What I don't understand is like, I understand that they do the human trafficking thing, but why put them in a trailer that doesn't have a reefer unit in it? You know what I mean? A reefer unit could have worked like a AC unit for the humans in the back there. Like, why would you use a drive-in in Texas? Like, out of all places, like even up here, I'm up north, and we get snow up north and everything like that. But even in the wintertime, like today, was like almost like 95 degrees up here where I'm at. So it's like, yo, why would you even like? Who bright idea was it to put humans inside of a drive-in with no reefer unit? Like,
No.
behind
Behind the bar. They said it was a refrigeration truck, but he said, "Oh, I didn't know that it wasn't on." But once you have it on before you put them in there,
there's an engine right in the front of the trailer, which is
let you know it's on.
There's an engine and there's a light in front of a reefer trailer.
You missed what I said before behind the bar. I was telling Naomi how sometimes these cartels and the coyotes, they will have these people come here, pay me some money, but then they'll lock them in the truck, take the cell phones, they'll call their family. If you don't send me this amount of money, this person's gonna be gone, whatever. There's a lot of crooked stuff happening at the border.
But wouldn't they have to pay just to get inside the truck, just across the border?
Some of them, I'm pretty sure some of them didn't pay because a lot of them don't have the money to pay. Or sometimes the coyote would pick somebody up and be like, "Oh yeah, we'll get you across the border." Get them across the border, shove them in the truck, take the cell phone, call their family. If you don't send me $10,000, this is going to happen to this person.
So this sounds like a modern day slave trade. Same thing they used to do in the boats
But
back
that's
in the
exactly
day.
what it is. And look what they did to our people, though. That's what I try to tell the Hispanic people. Don't ever think that the government's gonna have your best interest at heart. You know what I mean? They want to indoctrinate you. They want to slave you. They want to take your children. Want to abuse your children. All kinds of stuff. The same thing they did to us, what they're doing to the Hispanics right now. And
I have a question.
Sad to see. It's really sad.
If they're taking you for like organs, does it matter if you're like dead or alive when you get there?
It depends because a body has to be frozen for a certain amount of time. I guess you got to put it on ice. After a certain amount of time, it'll be no good. But yeah, that happens a lot too. I'm glad you brought that up. That does happen a lot.
and who knows how long that they were actually sitting out there because they chose this spot well. Because if that guy did not hear like faint screaming to where he was like, okay, let's go look, no one would have known. No one would have known. It was just left cracked open a little bit. So that means that man got out of that vehicle, cracked it open a little bit, was like, oh crap. Then he goes running out because he gets rescued by the cops. And he's trying to act like he's one of the survivors. And they're like, wait. We got you on camera at the border with the same clothes on. We got you coming from your house. Like, this is you. Take his cell phone, find all the information in there. He's communicating with another driver. So how do we get multiple trucks this far in to the country with all this devastation?
So let me just tell you something from my experience as a truck driver.
Okay.
They might have their routes that they go that they avoid certain scales, but they have a thing called like DOT scales and checkpoints that truck drivers have to go through to make sure that the truck isn't overweight. And some of these scales are indoor scales where they could actually do like a scan X-ray type of stuff where they could see kind of like what's the type of what's in the trailer. So
okay.
They must have their thing down pat where they avoid those particular checkpoints that truck drivers go through every so often or whatever. So I mean, I just think this is like an atrocity for real. That's crazy.
Yes, because we still don't know how many people were in that truck because the death toll keeps going up and up and up and up.
You know what's crazy
about
this?
50, we at 67.
You know what's crazy about this? I read like many a times where somebody was found in the back of a truck like this, but that actually got to them. It's just one of the cases that they didn't get to them, or I hear about people dying, but it's never been this much though. But all those stories were brushed under the rug, and the media never paid attention to those stories. The media is very selective in what they choose to cover.
So how many people in total was in it? If the death toll was up to 60, how many people in total was in it?
Did you see the truck? Because you're a truck driver behind the bar. You might be able to better answer this. How many people you think could fit in that truck?
I would say 500. I'm gonna show you right now. Hold on, matter of fact, let me show you right now. I'm in my truck right now. Let me show you how long it is. Like these things are 53 feet long. Hold on.
You think 500 people can fit in there laying down or standing up?
Hold on, look. These things are 53 feet long, and they're 13 feet high. Like, you see the number? Can you see the number right here?
Yeah, 53. Yeah.
That's feet long. So let me show you how, and it tells you everything, how long it is, what's inside. All these are the schematics of the truck. So if I'm walking all the way to the back of the truck, I'm gonna take steps, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, all the way to the back. So it's about 30 steps that you have to take in order to get to the back of a full-size trailer, which shows me that about 500 people, and that's not even them standing on top of each other. You know what I'm saying? Standing.
Wow.
Yeah, that's crazy. Because these things could they're meant to do a capacity of 80 tons. You know what I mean? Before they consider overweight. So
you got the people and all the natural body heat. It's a closed environment, so that makes it even worse.
And there's kids too.
Being metal and it's sun beating down on it.
Kids and babies. So I don't know the total amount of people. That's what I've been trying to figure out. What's the total amount of people that was inside? Because we're only hearing the death toll. Unless someone has that information, because I've been trying to find out how many people total were in there. Each time someone dies, we get an update on how many people were inside of them, but that's about it.
Well, the survivors probably ran.
Well, they said they found people outside of it too.
Hiding in the bushes like a coward. Instead of getting people help, hey, there's people in the help. They're dehydrated. They're having heat strokes. No, he's gonna hide in the bushes to be one of the people in the back. What a coward! What a piece of crap. I know we joke around. We call BDB a piece of crap. We call ourselves a piece of crap sometimes, but that's a certified piece of crap, an actual piece of crap right there.
That's more is going to come out to this.
John, that was a nice backhanded compliment. I appreciate it.
You know I rock with you, BDB.
That's a fact. That's a fact.
Yeah, Oscar, pop up. You've been chatty in the chat. Pop up and explain what you were saying about when we were talking about how long.
This is a breath of fresh air, though, Naomi. As far as your content right now, this is a great topic.
I'm so over it. I'm so over it. She's trying to blame me.
Or just the content overall on YouTube. You know, this is a breath of fresh air.
Yeah, it's like it's to the point where like my next topic it's related. It is related to like her, but as far as people talking about like saying that, oh yeah, me and Michael supposedly were the reason. She keeps changing the story about who's the reason. Oscar.
I didn't say that to bring it up. I mean, I didn't say it to bring it up.
I know what you're saying. I'm just saying. So the next topic we are going to talk about is Oakley, but I wanted to bring this up first because it's getting heavy and it's getting deeper. Like as we keep every day, you know, the first day I was kind of like paying attention to it. Wasn't a lot of information. Second day, I'm kind of like, okay. And then, you know, when they start saying, you know, the numbers are going higher, they're getting more information. They got their cell phones. They're going to find out a lot because they now know what house these guys were staying at. They've been planning this. And wouldn't you get rid of your cell phone if you knew you had all this information in it? Why would you go to jail with the cell phone? Or wherever you think you got them fooled and they think they're rescuing you. You don't think they're going to investigate who you are?
Yeah, this was a modern day Holocaust. You know what I mean? Like back in the day, when the Jewish people went inside the gas chambers and one went to the left, the other one went to the right, and those that went to the left was in the gas chamber. Those that went to the right were survivors. Like that was a hell of a execution right there. That was crazy.
Whichever truck you got in,
you're right in a way.
No, you get in this truck. You get in this truck.
You want the red truck or the blue truck?
Right, exactly. That's exactly what this was, and this was a red truck.
They should have came in my truck. I would have brought them safely to where they wanted to go.
You would not have done that.
For the right price.
For the right price. So do you know what skills to don't answer this question. Do you know what skills to go through, to avoid the X-ray scanners?
I mean, it depends on the state. I mean, not every state had the X-ray scanners, but I think they're common. They're more common in the South, if I'm not mistaken. I'm a local driver, so I'm not all over the country like that. Like, I've never been on the West Coast or whatever the situation may be, but there are quite a few, and they're actually starting to upgrade more and more because they really have them for drug smuggling. You know what I mean? Like, they have these particular scanners that could detect if people are distributing cocaine and things of that nature across the border, not even across the borders, across the country. And, they could definitely get people who are smuggling drugs across the country.
Yeah, but that only works if you're actually enforcing the border. But like I said earlier, the president, like Congress writes the immigration laws, but it's the president's job to enforce them. But we got a president right now. He's not enforcing anything. That's not part of the agenda.
So behind the bar in truck driving school, do they cover at all? Like, do they cover at all what the consequence would be if you did decide to partake in smuggling with your truck?
No, that's something that's just, when at truck driving school, all they teach you how to do is driving and truck safety. Nothing more, nothing less. They're not there for the politics of it. Those things are just common sense things. It's not law school, respectfully. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you don't have the common sense to know to get inside of a truck and not distribute humans or distribute drugs, that's on you, to answer your question.
You know what would be good? You know what? My brother, his wife or ex-wife, my nephew, and one of my cousins were all truck drivers. If I were to be like, hey, I need to talk to you about this subject because my brother's literally been all over, as well as my nephew. I don't know how much, because his wife started going with him so they can like trade off in the truck. I like that. So if you do want to do like traveling and working at the same time with a partner or whatever, you can do that if you go to truck driving school and you guys switch off, you got your certain hours. I thought that was pretty cool what they were doing. They were seeing, different parts of the country while also working. So, and my brother's a chef as well. So that's like his first passion. But then like, he'll like jump off and do the truck driving. Then he goes back to chef, then jump off to the truck driving. I don't know what the heck. But that would be a good like conversation, like to hear your view, his view, a girl's perspective,
If I was to talk to your brother, I'm going to ask him more questions. Like, how was Naomi growing up as a child? I want to know that type of stuff.
Hey, he's really he's really into church and really like reserved. So I don't know how he would be with stuff like that. I don't know.
So in other words,
say whatever.
You are the evil child, yes?
You're the black sheep.
She had to think about it, John.
I think both me and Rice. Actually, I think he was the worst. He was the worst. Then I would say probably, I don't know really how bad my sister was, but rest in peace. She's not here anymore. Then me, and then now my brother that was in the middle, he was like the angel. Now he's kind of like the bad one, and I'm kind of like going more good. But that brother is really like church. And I know
your aunt was saying how spoiled you are. I always thought you was the only child because your auntie said how spoiled you were.
I'm the only child by my mother.
Oh, yeah. I got you now. I understand.
So I'm the youngest. So my dad had children before me.
Got you.
Right.
I understand.
So
and now that makes more sense. So you were spoiled growing up, yes?
I don't know about spoiled.
You're still spoiled to this day, yes?
Listen, we're talking about the people that lost their lives, not Naomi's life, okay?
I love trolling, man.
I know you do. I know you do. So, okay, you guys can take care of that in the chat. I just wanted to chill the chat down. So.
Yo, Naomi, why I don't got a wrench in your chat? I feel some type of way.
I don't got a wrench in your chat?
Yes, you do.
No, I don't.
Girl, yes, you do. I gave you one like a few weeks ago.
And then when I came back, I didn't have one.
That's not true, but whatever.
You know what I hate about wrenches, though? You can't troll as much.
I feel like
why
I saw you with one. No, I like wrenches because you can go see other people's channels.
I don't like wrenches because you can't troll as much, though. You know, you got like you're held to a higher standard.
You got a role to play. You guys.
Thank you, Christina E.
Okay, so here's the last video. Actually, the last video is the 10-minute video, but that's just like going over everything for
I'm going to jump down, Naomi. I just wanted to holler at you and say what up.
Okay, I'm going to hit you up later, though, behind the bar. I got some questions and just some comments.
I'm not answering no questions. Bye-bye.
No, shut up. You're going to answer some questions because you be in these streets more than me, and I got some questions about just some other stuff, not even, So, all right. I'm going to put this video on, and we're going to take a look at this one. And then for those who want to watch the 10-minute video, I don't know if I'm going to edit it and then just put it on my page, or we can watch it together.
The deadliest human smuggling incident in recorded U.S. history. The alleged driver of the big rig making his first court appearance this afternoon.
He and another U.S. citizen could face the death penalty for their role in the deaths of 53 people. Marcelino Benito here now in the studio with the latest on today's developments for us. Marcelino?
Well, guys, court documents giving us a better picture of the moments leading up to that gruesome discovery in San Antonio. And it was text messages sent by the driver that helped federal investigators track down those allegedly involved. Homero Zamorano appeared in a federal court in San Antonio 3 days after CBP cameras captured him in the front seat of a big rig, hauling 67 people in a hot trailer.
And he's just smiling. You know you got all these people in the back here. You just smiling. And I know they were screaming, probably hitting it. No one's just dying like, okay, we're going to die and we're not going to let them know. I'm sure they're banging, hitting, like, oh my God, I can't.
Hours after that photo was taken, law enforcement discovered 48 dead in the semi-truck. 5 more would die at local hospitals, including children. Zamorano spotted by police in a nearby field, pretending to be one of the survivors. He's now charged with smuggling, leading to the deaths of 53 people.
We haven't seen these numbers before. This is the largest event in U.S. history.
Tonight, Christian Martinez also in federal custody. He's the man who investigators say repeatedly texted Zamorano that same day. At 12:19 p.m. on Monday, Zamorano texts Martinez, "I go to same spot." Martinez then sends him GPS coordinates of a location near Laredo. By 1:40, Martinez texts, "Way bro," believed to be a typo for "where you at." Martinez never hears back from Zamorano, repeatedly following up with "call me bro" and "where you at" around 6:17. By that time, first responders had descended on the scene, and Zamorano was in custody.
I think he probably figured out, that's when he figured out, oh my gosh, it's all these people that are, deceased. And that's when he went running or whatever. And that's why he didn't answer him back. Why do you think he didn't respond? This is sad. And to think he couldn't just say, hey, I know I'm going to be in trouble. Can you go see who you can, save in this truck? But people don't think like that because they're just thinking for themselves and they're trying to run, trying to hide. Hopefully they'll get away with it, trying to play, victim. He was one of the ones being smuggled. So
custody.
I don't understand how anyone could be so callous as to allow that to happen and then run from the scene.
Court docs reveal Martinez admitted to his role in the smuggling event and told an informant the driver did not know the AC unit was not working on the truck.
It was a crime against humanity.
Yep. The ME's office in Bexar County still working to ID victims, but some families already notified in their home countries, including this Guatemalan family. Manuel Tulul lost his 13-year-old son Wilmer in that trailer. He says they were charged $6,000 by smugglers to get his son to the U.S. He begged his son not to go. I told him, you stay here. I work and feed you. But he told me he needed to go struggle. He wanted his house. He wanted something, he says. The stories coming out of these countries is absolutely heartbreaking. Martinez and 2 other Mexicans also facing charges in the smuggling case are expected in court by the end of the week. Back to you.
Truly heartbreaking. Thank you, Marcelino.
Alrighty, last night.
Okay, so that was ending that. So I don't know. You guys got anything to say about this?
Well, he texts the guy he'll go to the same spot, which means they both did that before.
Yep,
They filmed this. Same spot.
Yep.
Where you at? Where you at? Where you at? No answer back. You guys telling me you guys can't hear the crickets?
Yeah.
Okay, I was gonna say no. They're loud.
So it's like one of two things: either they're taking money to smuggle people, bribing them, working with the cartels, or the AC went out. One of the two. Either way, it's still criminal action. You know.
So you're telling me he wasn't stopping frequently throughout this? Because
That's
you
what I was
know,
thinking,
in
too.
the
You
back
didn't
of those
stop to use the
trucks,
bathroom,
you
check on
see.
him or anything? That's what I was thinking too. Like he didn't stop and use the bathroom. Like how long did you say the trip was?
2 hours and 30 minutes, I think they say, from the border to there.
He could have not stopped. 2 hours.
Yeah.
But it's metal, so you don't think they were banging like we can't breathe? People in distress. You don't think they were like trying to get out, trying to let him know, look.
Yeah, true.
You know what I mean? And it's that many people banging. He knew what he was doing. That's evil. Because I don't believe that they just sat there and was like, okay, I'm gonna go. No, I don't think so. You think so? Do you think that it was so much heat that they just became just delusional and quietly went?
Well, like if it was 2 hours, they could have all laid down and went.
Every single person.
Well, here's the thing though. That's just a 2-hour drive. We don't know how long they were in the truck though.
Where'd it come from?
Exactly. How long were they actually in the truck too? There's a lot of stuff that we don't know about the case yet.
Well, we'll see, and I'll end up, I'll put the link to this video, the 10-minute videos, because we're already, far into this. And you guys can take a look at that for those that are catching up on the case. And we'll revisit this, definitely. I know there's going to be more information, and we'll go from there, because we only can go by, what we know for now. Coolio? All right, so I'm gonna head out of here, and I will see you guys on Sunday. I will be going live. I will be talking about Little Oakley right here. Little Oakley. I'll be going live at 5:00. Her parents are incarcerated. They will not give the police any information on where she's at. This to me is like a Harmony case times 2. It's the same thing. Parents on drugs, using methamphetamine, and just children go out the window. Children don't matter because my drugs come first. Like, stop it. Stop it. And then the girl, same thing with Harmony. She was in a good foster home, good foster family from a little baby. But the parents wanted her so bad to prove a point, got her, and then now they won't even speak on where she's at. So we'll be talking about that on Sunday at 5:00. I will see you guys later. Bye-bye.
Later.